Hey, what is up guys? This is Gurps Ratra from workoutvirgins.com. Today I'm going to talk about the importance of cardio, how much to do, when to do, and couple of misconceptions about cardio. So stay tuned. Alright everyone, let's talk about cardio. And first of all, let's understand what is cardio. Cardio is a short form of cardiovascular activity. Now any activity that raises your heart rate is to be considered cardio. Now it could be brisk walking, jogging, running, climbing stairs, etc., right? And let's talk about when should you do cardio, or let's do what type of cardio you should do, right? So there are two types of cardio: low intensity cardio and high intensity interval training. Low intensity cardio is like start with a slow movement of your joints and muscles, and then you maintain that pace. Just like, say you start walking and you do a brisk walk, maybe for about a mile or mile and a half. Now that will raise your heart rate because you're using multiple muscles, and that means your central nervous system, it's gonna take some energy out of your heart for coordination. That means your heart has to do double the time the work, right? So you maintain the same pace with your walking, and in that way you will be burning calories. And you will be burning calories on a certain level. Now could be walking, could be jogging, could be running, but provided you keep the same pace. For example, on a treadmill, you start jogging, and on a level of say 3 or 4 miles per hour, you keep jogging for like say 25 to 30 minutes. And that will burn calories, right? Now there's another very popular and very powerful cardio type, which are called high intensity interval training, and short form HIIT. That's a very powerful type of cardio, and it's quite hard as well. What's different in a high interval compared to low intense is you start with the same pace. Right after like say 5 minutes of having that pace, you change your pace, like you use your muscle to an extreme level, and then you take a break all of a sudden. For example, let's say on a treadmill, right? You jog for 5 minutes, so you get heart pumping, blood flowing through your body, but then all of a sudden from 4 miles per hour you put it on 6 or 7 or 8. So that's like a sprint. You sprint for like say half a minute, and then you get off the treadmill for another half a minute, and then you repeat it, right? Biggest factor here is you're shocking your muscle, you're shocking your heart. When it gets shocked, it pumps faster, even faster, right? And you're using multiple muscle, plus your central nervous system now is working 4 times compared to a low intensity. Because if you keep in the same pace, eventually your central nervous system, your heart will be in a coordination, and it'll be all in rhythms, right? So you'll still be burning calories, but not as faster compared to in high intensity interval training. And the second thing here is that you burn quicker calories. Now let me give you an example of a marathon runner and a sprinter. And you very well know that a marathon runner don't have as much muscles compared to a sprinter. Sprinter probably have more muscles than any other bodybuilder, right? It's because they do sprint, so they take extreme work out of their muscles for a short period of time, and then they give them some rest, and then they go back again. So I would say do 5 sprints, start with 5 sprints, and then make your way up. Let's talk about when should you do cardio. Now there are several approaches people take towards cardio, and some of them are like they get themselves really overwhelmed over it. Let's understand the importance, right? So you go to the gym and you step on the treadmill, you do your cardio for like 50 minutes, and then you get off, and then maybe not you'll do strength training, because by the end of the 50 minutes you'll be tired enough and you won't be able to give yourself best in the weight room, so you probably will go home. Now there's another scenario: you'll go to the gym, you do your cardio probably 5-10 minutes warmed up, and then you go to the weight room and you do your strength training, and then maybe after you can do another like 15 minutes of cardio, and that depends low intensity or high intensity, right? So you can do your low intensity cardio of 15 minutes after you finish with your weight. Now here's the trick: everyone knows that in your muscles you have muscle glycogen stored in your body, and those glycogen stores are a primary source of fuel to be used during your activity. Now if you're doing 50 minutes of cardio beforehand, before you going into the weight room, you'll be using a lot of muscle glycogen and you'll be consuming a lot of muscle glycogen, and then your stores will be, empty or depleted, and you won't be able to give yourself much of a performance in the weight room. Now here's the thing, if you develop your muscle, you have a muscle mass on your body, if you have a lean muscle mass precisely, you burn calories while sitting. Like right now, I have good amount of lean muscle mass on my body. So while I'm talking to you, I am burning calories, believe it or not. And if I'm doing cardio on top of it, it's the plus. Some people, they just come to the gym, they just stick to the cardio because somehow someone told them that doing a lot of cardio will make you lose weight. Okay, understandable, somehow acceptable up to some extent. The amount of weight you're going to lose on your cardio, it's going to be the water weight. I'll say it again, the amount of cardio you do will make you lose weight, and that will be a water weight. And soon after you take a glass of water, you're gonna gain the weight because you are burning calories, but you are consuming calories after cardio. When you come home, you eat, you drink, right? So it kind of balances out. And plus, you have to go to the gym 7 days a week, 50 minutes of cardio every single day. Gets boring, doesn't it? So here's my recommendation. Go to the gym, 5 minutes warm up, elliptical, treadmill, staircase, or biking, anything like that, right? Cardio, 5 to 10 minutes. You do your warm up, then you go to your weight room. Do strength training. I cannot stress enough on it. Do strength training. I have trained hundreds of clients in the past, and a lot of them, when I met them, a lot of them had a misconception. Cardio will make them lose weight. Well, if it wasn't working for them, that's why they hired me. And now I'm really proud to say that all of my clients do strength training and they do minimal amount of cardio and they get the same results, even better, right? So here's my recommendation. Go to your gym, do 5 to 10 minutes walking, running, jogging, whatever you want to do. Step off the treadmill, do your strength training for like 40 to 45 minutes, not asking to do like 2 hours of training if you're a busy individual. So do like 30 to 40 minutes workout, come back, do like 15 to 20 minutes low intensity cardio. If you want to do every single day, you can. Don't want to do every single day, you can do every other day. You'll burn tremendous amount of calories, and because you're also strength training, you'll be burning a lot of calories while sitting on a couch, watching telly, talking over the phone, doing some work on your laptop, etc, etc. Now there's another approach that's my favorite. I normally don't do any cardio first thing in the gym. I'll just go straight to the weight. Whatever muscle group I'm working on, I'll just do 2 to 3 warm-up sets of it. Get a blood flowing through that muscle. Could be bicep, tricep, chest, whatever you're working on. I'll do it for like 50 to 60 minutes. Deplete all my glycogen stores over there because I'll be using a lot of energy, primary source of fuel, towards building my muscle mass. And then later I'll be stepping on the treadmill or elliptical, etc, and I'll do high intensity interval training. Best thing about high intensity interval training is you don't have to do it for long. Only 15 to 20 minutes is enough. Trust me, it's enough. 5 minutes warm up, 15 minutes of high intensity interval, like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. You'll be sweating from the very first minute. We're burning calories faster. In that way, your central nervous system, by the time you get to know and get to figure out what is happening, it's time to get off the treadmill. And you burn tremendous amount of calories. Plus, you don't have to do it every single day. You probably need it only 2 days a week. And that being said, you can choose any of those 2 days. Could be over the weekend, could be say on Wednesday and Saturday. So in that way, you don't have to stress enough to stay longer at the gym. You can just focus on building that muscle mass and do the cardio that day. Like you can keep the Wednesday just for that cardio. Now let's talk about how much cardio you should do for fat loss or weight loss. Now there's a difference in fat loss and weight loss. Okay, so I would say if you're doing fat loss or weight loss, you have to keep up with the strength training anyways. There is no excuse. Okay, but if you're doing weight loss, then spend more time in the weight room, okay, and spend like 15 minutes on the cardio every single day. Okay, 15 minutes of cardio every single day after you finish with your workout. Now for the fat loss, well, let's go back to the weight loss first. Okay, so there's this maximum heart rate that we calculate. Okay, remember, it's all have to do with your heart rate, right? So here's the formula. You subtract your age from 220, that will be your maximum heart rate. So say for example, someone 20 years of age, maximum heart rate for them will be 200. Now here's the trick. If you want to do weight loss, then you hand like 60 to 70% of 200 of your heart rate on the treadmill or any sort of equipment. For example, say 200, right? So 50 to 60% of 200 is like 100 to 120 beats per minute, right? So you have to take that into consideration, that you have to stay in that range for weight loss, right? For fat loss, you have to go above. You have to go for like 70 to 80% of your maximum heart rate. That's like 150 to 170. You have to stay in that range. That means you have to work really hard, right? Because weight loss is attainable and sustainable, but fat loss comes after. Stubborn belly fat, or some people store their fat on on their love handles and stuff like that. So with the fat loss, you have to raise your heart rate a little bit more. So from 70 to 80% of your maximum heart rate, stay in that range. 15 minutes every single day, right? For low intensity. For high intensity, do twice a week for 20 minutes and you'll be done. And I definitely recommend high intensity interval training for fat loss. I do it myself. I've recommended to my clients in the past. They got great results. But here's the thing: if it's too much for you, if it's like 70 to 80%, you're finding it hard to keep up with it, then stick to low intensity, but then every single day. Okay? Then lose your weight. Then focus on fat loss, but keep up with your strength training. You have to build muscles to burn calories. And plus, on top of that, when you come home, track your calories. It's all about caloric deficit. You have to eat less calories than you burn. That's where you lose fat. That's where you lose weight. Okay? Alright guys, this is me, Gurps Ratra, signing off. And I hope I've cleared a lot of misconceptions about cardio, how to do it, when to do it, how much to do it. So I hope the next time you step on a treadmill, just don't do more than 30 minutes. Okay? So take care.